Hey guys, so I'm making kind of an uncomfortable video today, and uncomfortable for a lot of different reasons. Number one, I think right now there's a lot of pressure, both internal and external, to do and say the right thing with everything that's going on right now. For those of you that know me, you know that I can be a little bit intense and sometimes a little bit aggressive with my opinions about politically charged topics. However, on social media, up until now, I've taken the position of kind of stepping back from doing that because I've found social media to be not a very productive and collaborative form of communication when it comes to those type of topics. However, with everything that's going on right now, I don't think it's an acceptable time to bow out of the conversation. As you saw, I did choose to participate in Blackout Tuesday, and I got a eclectic variety of responses. To those of you who are positive and spreading the message of positivity and positive change, I see you and I thank you for that. I was taken aback by the sheer volume of really negative responses, sometimes anger, sometimes straight up hatred. It was surprising, and so I want to address those people today. I think number one, the most common response that I got was, how could you possibly support Black Lives Matter? It means that you are supporting looting, you are supporting criminals. One guy even said, it means that you are supporting the scum of the earth. To those people, I ask that you take a moment to think about it a little bit deeper, because I think that those people are using that as an excuse. You're using it as a really lame out in order to stay silent, in order to stay complacent, by saying that supporting Black Lives Matter, by supporting the movement, only means that you are supporting destruction and that you are supporting crime. You have justified sitting and letting business go on as usual. And I'm calling you out for it. I'm saying that it's not an acceptable out, that you can absolutely support the bigger movement, you can support the bigger message, and not support looting. I don't support looting. I don't support injuring anybody innocent. People that very likely are on the side of this movement, I don't support that, but I do support this movement, and I think the movement is more important. The systematic and institutional mistreatment of an entire group of human beings that has happened since the inception of our country, that is more important than looting right now. And you need to stop using it as an excuse. You need to stop letting yourself off the hook by saying that. That's number one. The second thing that I had a couple of people upset that I didn't post anything after the Black Square, and there's a reason for that. I didn't want to be reactive. I wanted to take a day to listen, to observe, to have conversations, and to think honestly. I didn't want to post something that wasn't genuine, that wasn't honest, and I also wanted to post something that was productive as well. And so I needed to take a day to see what that was. And I think the most productive thing to do is an exercise that I did in a dance class where I had a phenomenal instructor that was very adamant about internalizing uncomfortability when it comes to discussions about race. In the conversations that I've had and the conversations that I've observed, a lot of my white friends, people that I know, people that I don't know, have either denied the existence or misunderstand the definition of what white privilege means. And this exercise is to reflect on situations and circumstances that you've experienced in your life because of your white privilege. I'm going to share what I wrote down, what I thought about, and my hope is that it resonates with a few of those people out there that deny their privilege. and maybe helps you understand what it is and helps you understand why we can't approach this situation from up here, from our privileged point of view, and why the Black Lives Matter movement is so much more important than the All Lives Matter movement right now. So I'm going to jump into it. This is obviously not an exhaustive list, because if I made an exhaustive list, it would literally never end. And I don't think anyone has time for that. So, privilege number 1, I've been the subject of law enforcement action 4 times. So right out the gate, that is my first privilege as a white woman. I'm 24 years old and I've only ever been contacted by the police 4 times. This book, it's called Punished. I highly recommend people read it. It's an ethnographic study of the effects of hypercriminalization on youth, specifically young Latino and Black boys in Oakland. I'm a decade older than most of those boys in that book, and they have all been contacted by the police way more than me. I think one kid was contacted 27 times within a year or a couple years. So that's my first privilege. Number 2, all 4 times that I've been contacted by the police, they were completely justified. I have never been stopped for loitering. I have never been stopped for looking suspicious. I have never been stopped for no reason at all. All 4 times were completely justified. They were traffic stops and I was 100% doing what I was stopped for. Number 3, in every law enforcement contact that I've experienced, I have never feared for my safety or I have never feared for my life. It has literally never crossed my mind. In any interaction that I've had with a police officer, I have never once felt an ounce of fear. Number 4, and this one sounds embarrassing to read out loud, but I wanted to be completely honest with myself. My number 1 concern in every interaction that I've had with law enforcement was whether or not I could talk myself out of getting a citation. My biggest fear was whether I could talk myself out of getting a citation. 3 out of the 4 times I did talk myself out of getting a citation. That is privilege number 5. Privilege number 6, I've snuck into multiple hot tubs and apartment complexes throughout my youth, and every single time the security officer asked me nicely to leave. I had never had the police be called on me for that. It's stark contrast to a video I just watched of a Black man and his son swimming in the apartment complex where they lived, and having the police called on them. Number 8, I once locked my keys in my car. My car was parked on the street. I was literally breaking into my own car. Nobody asked me if the car belonged to me. The only person that stopped asked me if I needed help breaking into my car, and they helped me break into my car and they left. I never had to prove that it was actually mine. Not once. Number 9, I have never been to a hair salon and been told that the natural texture of my hair is so difficult that I have to pay extra to get a haircut. Number 10, I have never not gotten a job due to my race or due to not looking like I fit the brand. If you've never looked at the studies about that, I highly recommend that you do. Number 11, I have never been rejected for housing because of my race. Number 12, I have never been into a store and been followed. I've worn all black, I've worn hoodies countless times, and I've never been followed by any employee of any store. So until this is the experience of every single person, until every person has these same experiences, we can't say all lives matter. We can't, because nothing will change. And I challenge my white friends to do the same thing. Whether or not you share it on social media is completely up to you, but I do challenge you to reflect and write down the circumstances in your life where you experienced privilege because of your race, and then look at the videos and look at the experiences of those in the Black community and see why a change needs to happen.